Dumelang ra la amogela mo go Daily Thetha on SABC 1. Nna ka lebitso ke nna Nicolette wa Gamashile ngwana kwa Bushbuckridge Mapulaneng. Ya re tshwareleng lona le la matsogo ke Sesi Andiswa wa ga Kebashe. Now mongwaga wa 2019 re o fela be se ba felelo ya mongwaga fela. It was the end of a decade. Now we started off the year a little bit rough, a little bit stressful, but you know what, we ended up the year doing quite great things in South Africa. Bona ra bona gore maboko Springboks ya ba ya win a World Cup ya rugby. Ra bona tse dingwana di tswelela le di bonne mo ga montage. Re sa go blabla ka tsona rena di tla. But as we started 2020, re bone COVID-19 e re tlhasela mafase ka moka. It is not just South Africa, but le khonre nyoko lebella some of the other stresses that have really just taken, you know, the country by storm. Sometimes mola of tonzo di makega sometimes are these things really happening to us? We've seen resignations, we've seen some deaths, and really some of them have been really heart-wrenching. 2019 going into 2020 ke di thing lo tsare di go tshwere ka pele wa ra tswa king tso a ke tibona re makabyan.
Ngithi ngithathe nami lethuba le ngithi ngibingelele emakhaya njoba nani nivalekile during this time of lockdown ngithemba ukuthi nje nihleli nengubo uhleli umuntu omthandayo onoma nje uhleli umndeni wakho endlela kumele kube ngakhona labo bahleli bodwa ungasabi sesikhona thina eDaily Thetha igama umeleto kami yoqona sibe umiya uzizi lo. As we look back into 2019 start ithuba si understand ukuthi it was a year for many of first abaye bebaqala ungena esikolweni. It was a year for many as their last year in positions, and also it was a year where we ask you what happened to you. Bekuyini experience yakho kulo nyaka 2019? Bokuphethe kahle mhlawumbe uthola ithuba ukuthi uthenge indlu yakho yokuqala. Konke lokho sikhuluma ngakho namhlanje, but also we speak about how you experienced it. As we start the show, siyabonga kuwo khona, and ongazi sasekhona ku WhatsApp 072 316-1329 ithuba lelo tholayo ukuthi wena ukwazi ukuthi uxhumane nathi on our WhatsApp line.
Melody, I'm just looking at some of the disappointments at the beginning of the year. Na beke tshepa gore a ke se ke tlonyadi weng mara lenyalo nkare a le mfitlhelele. And a ke tsebore na se ke make byang na ke lukise ka kae ke fixe ka kae. But Ludekwazi was out on the streets. Go lebela le batho ba rona a bolele bona gore ba butse gore na what are some of their wins but also some of their disappointments in the first couple of months of 2020. E re bona gore na bona ba re keng.
I don't think there's anyone who bengasilungiselela the first 90 days of 2020. Sonke siqale umfutho uphezulu. We had our dreams, our goals. I certainly wanted to make more money, have a healthy bank account, and all of those things. But okay, coronavirus ifikile yachinja izinto. We want to hear from the street babathini na abantu. Igama lami ngilutho kazindlazi and I am at your service. Masiyava abantu babathini na ngo 2020. So, but namhlanje we are introspecting on unyaka wethu 2020. 90 days in, unyaka sonjani ku for wena?
Mina unyaka so far is bad because nangapha sesifacene nale disaster esifacane nayo due to indaba zale disease esinayo, and manje le shutdown le izoba ngenkinga because mina ngiyazibuza ukuthi njoba kuzohamba ugesi thina sizophuma ezindlini. Yabo, because ngapha kunale disease ngapha then they take electricity like nje si disaster kahle yabona wena siswami.
There it's been okay, it's been fine, everything was going okay till this virus went viral and everything. The year it's been tough, it's been ruined by this virus. Yes.
Ntakulembe loko ra sungula ri kahle mara sweswo leswi swa beta serious, to be honest. Loko hi nangutile lani a hi nangutele swilo swa kahle mara se sweswo leswilo ya swivona swa ku a ku na lexi nga ta famba kahle loko hi nangutile ku swilo swo onakile hi ku imhaka leyi ya corona yini and a hi nangutele swilo swa kahle kusuka sta loko lembe ra sungula hi ku December yi ri right na January yi ri right kute loko nghena ka February se swilo swi vela swimosheka about this corona because na mali ayikona loko hi nangutile business masivona na n'welani a ku fambi nchumu a ku na xitoko a ku na nchumu kahle ya swilo swa beta.
Siswami mina ngizokutshela nje kuphela iqiniso. I'm not happy about 2020. First of all sihlaselwe yenye ivirus angazi ukuthi iphuma phi kanjani. First of all asina idea ngayo ukuthi iphumaphi kwenzakalani into ezikanjalo yabona leyo so iletha ifear kithi leyo nto leyo because sinabantwana at the end of the day sinabazali esizwayo ukuthi iattack abantu abadala most of the time yabona leyo nto leyo so 2020 ngempela bengimjabulele makengena but now ama economical depression yabona nje yonke into nje yabona life nje iyachange as we know it.
Zikhona izinto ezipositive ongathi uzibonile and you are proud of?
Yeah, there are things that I'm positive about. Looking at this 21 days thing, I think some people are going to bazoba right ekuthenini bayeke ama drugs. Some people are going to be staying at home. It means that you're going to socialize with your family, connect with your family, bond. That's the most important thing.
Mina leni chava kungopfu indlala hikusweswo leswi loko vanhu va nga ri ku xaveni hi ta dya yini hi yo problem leyikulu ende na sweswo leswi se va nga pfala va nghena na yi shutdown ya 21 days ende loko va teka decision leyi ya 21 days hina hi xavisaka la switarateni a va hi hleketelelangi ku ri fanele hi swi endlisa ku yini ende ma swi twisaka swilo leswi ve in short notice ku ri na yi shutdown number 1 a hi planangi ku ri na okay wa tshama ndlwini for 21 days wa va u dya yini.
I mean mina I'm a street vendor at the end of the day uyabona leyo nto leyo ngidependa estradeni ukuze ngifite umndeni wami uyabona leyo so nangabe khona manje we are going to 21 days uyabona leyo nto leyo how am I going to feed my family?
Sithi sibonga ukusisi Ludokazi who's in the streets making sure ukuthi indaba sayithola nale studio kodwa sithi sibuke kancane ukuthi ngempela it was a difficult time for abaningi bethu because as we started in the last 90 days sibheka ukuthi economy na iqale ngathi nje isinika inkinga but not just that we looked at the opportunities that people had that they've missed. I mean speaking for myself ngithola ukuthi ngejimini ngakhokha gcine ngasayanga.
I think the biggest win for me and I think it's also because of in my personal space being able to come back and do this show. That is,
yes.
I mean, absolutely fantastic. You know, it's not a small feat as many might be able to see it. For us, it's really taking up that job to serve. But every single day, amazing.
Sisibone kancane ke ukuthi umfoka Mkhize lapha uthini ku Facebook athi qiniso lelo lonyaka usanda ukuqala but ziningi izinto esezenzeke ngawo esizi affectayo thina as people even umnotho wesizwe wezwe is falling down. Hayi yebozo umfo uyakhala umfoka Mkhize and isikhala naye but also asakala ithemba khona basazayo with a couple of wins after the ad break.
Welcome back to Daily Thetha. Some people have said this is not the 20 plenty that we have ordered. Take it back, Arinyaki, because so the 2020 it was not part of the plan. But I mean, if you look at the political fraternity, politics in South Africa is always just something that is drama. It's got so much drama, so many things happen that always surprise us. You know, we're always taken by surprise, and it's often like if you're not well versed and you don't know what's happening in current affairs, but by the time they hit you, it always is a shock to your system. Now, I want you guys to think about this. Maybe for political analysts, that was something that they were preempting or anticipating. But for us ordinary South Africans, we did not see this one coming. Political leader of the Democratic Alliance resigns. Let's go and see.
There does come a time when leaders must step back from all noise and conjecture and make a sober and honest assessment as to what the future indeed does hold. And I've spent the last few days doing exactly that alongside with my wife. And in the end, we've come to the conclusion that despite my best efforts, perhaps the DA is not the best vehicle which is suited to take forward the vision of building one South Africa. And therefore, it is with great sadness that in order to continue this fight for the vision I strongly believe and the country I so dearly love, I will today step down as leader of the DA.
It is for this reason that I've called this press conference today to announce my resignation from the DA Democratic Alliance effective 27th November 2019. It is on the request of the party leadership that my resignation is held off until this date to afford them the opportunity to identify a new candidate to fill this position. By so doing, I will no longer serve as a Democratic Alliance councillor, and therefore I'm required to resign as Executive Mayor of the City of Johannesburg effective on the same date. I've given this decision considerable thought, and I've been tortured by the circumstances that I've had to lead me to this moment. It is not in my nature to quit anything in life. I succeeded under the darkest days of our country's history when I was told that I could not be a businessman. However, I cannot be a willing participant in good conscience in a process that is placing the narrow internal interest of a political party ahead of the needs of the 5 million residents of our city, of the city of Johannesburg. The events of the first few months, and particularly this weekend, have required me to choose between my party and my country.
When those two announcements came like South Africa, abaningi babejabulile, abaningi bebengajabulile because bengakhuluma ngomsebenzi kaBashaba he was making in the city of Johannesburg. Abaningi bebona ukuthi crime ngempela seyehlile and imigaqo iba clean ngomsebenzi wakhe kodwa kwathi suka
Yeah, look, I mean, a lot of people highlighted some of the wins and the losses of both Mmusi Maimane and Herman Mashaba. And I think with Mmusi, it was that thing of the trend that is happening within the Democratic Alliance of all these, political leaders of color, I don't want to really specifically say black, who seem to just be stepping away from the Democratic Alliance. But we've seen Umbali, young Bali, coming through and saying, listen, I'm ready to take up the reins. So it will really be an interesting yarn to see how she does.
Na uzohamba yovakasha Harvard kodwa ke ngoba sesibona ukuthi kwipolitiki safundiswa thina ukuthi we accounting but what you do on the left you do on the right, and South African politics also have shown that because they, when it comes to the life of the Zondo Commission between the two families, Jacob Zuma and ndodana yakhe naye wangena naye basikhombisa ukwenzelani awukubuke into ehlakala yakhona.
Ngelehlekisa Zuma, do you have any objection to take?
Will former President Jacob Zuma return to the hot seat? If he doesn't do so willingly, the Commission's legal team will on Tuesday seek a subpoena that will persuade the former president to give more testimony. Not once but twice did former President Zuma postpone his return to the Commission. The last time he was supposed to appear, he was reportedly ill and receiving treatment outside the country. In July of 2019, Zuma sat in the witness chair for 3 days where he made interesting revelations. First, he detailed an old and persistent plot to assassinate him and then called one of his former cabinet ministers an apartheid spy.
What made Comrade Mwako to behave the way he did here? Saying that I've auctioned the country. In the NEC, I just do what I like. He's carrying out an instruction. He was recruited when he was a student in Lesotho to be a spy.
The 3-day appearance was punctuated with interruptions from his legal team, protesting that their client was being cross-examined.
I know you said, Chair, I can't tell you about your jobs, but I will now.
No. I said you can make submissions and everyone must do their job.
Chair, this is, yes. I must say, this is poor.
The former president has been implicated by a number of witnesses who came before the commission. Former Deputy Finance Minister SABC Jonas, former Government Communications Head Themba Maseko, and former Intelligence Chief Mo Sheikh, amongst others. Pressed for answers, the former head of state also took a stand and told the commission that he was being treated unfairly. Established in 2018, the commission is expected to conclude this year. But with 2 months left, the inquiry has indicated that it might need more time to finalize its work.
This was a very interesting time because the politics in South Africa, because Zuma naye wafika wakhiphe zakhe indaba la sithi bajabulile kwensi ukuthi abanye kwiday babona ukuthi hayi cha hayi ziyawa kwensi kanti indaba zakapheli ngoba nendodana naye yangena kwiZondo Commission.
of former President Jacob Zuma, Duduzane, is currently testifying at the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture, which is currently underway in Parktown in Johannesburg.
He was responding to allegations that he drove a former Deputy Finance Minister SABC Jonas to the Gupta family's Saxon World home, where Jonas was allegedly offered a 600 million rand bribe and the position of Finance Minister. Zuma told the commission that Jonas was aware that a meeting between them was moved to the Gupta residence in Saxon World.
Evidence leader advocate Philip Mkwena is leading Zuma's evidence.
We drove in Mr. Duduzane Zuma's car, which appeared to be a two-door Mercedes-Benz. I did not know the surrounding area very well and only gathered, when we arrived at our destination, that we were driven to the Gupta's residence in Saxon. Mr. Duduzane Zuma did not suggest to me that we left the Hyatt and that we were going to the Gupta residence or that we meet the Guptas. As Mr. Duduzane Zuma parked his car, I noticed that Mr. Fana Hlongwane had also arrived at the Gupta residence.
Yes. Is it accurate? Do you agree with him that this is what happened?
Which portions? There's portions that I may agree, there's portions that I may not agree with.
Well, identify to the chair which ones are you in agreement with and which ones are you not in agreement with?
I'm in agreement that he jumped into my car. I'm in agreement that we arrived at the Gupta residence, but I'm in disagreement that he did not know where we were going.
Yes. Well, he was here as well. He did testify, not only in evidence in chief, but he was consistent in as far as that version is concerned, even under cross, as to the fact that when the venue was changed and when you decided to drive him to the Gupta residence, he was not told that he was actually heading to the Gupta residence.
Sure, that Zondo Commission of Inquiry into State Capture played out like a scripted, soapy drama telenovela. It was absolutely just shocking to hear some of the things that are happening right under the noses of South Africans with a government or a state purse that we're hoping is going to be helping in social development, in health issues. I mean, perhaps maybe we wouldn't have such a big outcry in terms of COVID-19. So for me, that was just absolutely shocking, Melody. He's talking about himself in the third person, guys. And I think that already that just shows you drama within Kodi politicking. But you think we are done. We are really not done with the politics that happen in the Parliament of South Africa. Somebody in the Parliament, an honorable member thought it was fitting to tell a standing president to sit down at the State of the Nation. If you missed that, we've got a highlighted version for you. Let's have a look.
Speaker of the National Assembly, Ms. Thandi Modise, Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces.
On a point of order, Speaker. On a point of order, Speaker.
What's the point of order?
Can the President please sit down? I'm following the rules,
What's
Speaker.
the point of order?
Can we follow the rules?
What's the point of order?
Can we follow the rules? According to Rule 14C, read alongside 14S. If you read them now, you will realize that President must sit down before I raise the point of order. Please sit down, President. We're going to help you run this parliament. Sit down, President. Follow the rules. We're going to help you. You want to follow the rules and sit down.
Jobus Bonela, abanye abantu were very happy about that moment because they felt that the president was very much in line to be asked to sit down according to the legislation. But abanye zange bajabule because something else happened which really scarred abantu vele besabalimelile as abantu besifazane when it came to gender-based violence. Have a look.
Now, I want to deal with a matter which I started dealing with earlier. And I want to deal with it with the sensitivity that it requires. The matter that was raised by Honorable Malema here. Now, in raising this matter, He raised it in 2017 and said that the president used to assault his first wife, Hope Ramaphosa. Now, Hope Ramaphosa responded and said that is not true. Honorable Malema here stood and made an allegation. But before that, an allegation was made against him by a member of the African National Congress. And Honorable Malema, as the allegation was made against you, I felt for Mandwa, your wife. Because it was uncalled for, I must say. It was improper, it was not correct for it to be raised. And if I can offer an apology to you about this, I would like to, because it was uncalled for. And Mandwa responded. You have raised the issue of my late former wife, Nomazizi. She is not here to respond for herself. And as I read in the piece that I dealt with earlier about this text that I got, this young lady evoked a sense that should really mean something to us, that we should not resort to using issues such as these, as it was used also against you, to politicize and to trivialize an important issue that affects so many women in our country. All of us need to engage in this struggle against gender-based violence.
Ngingaphikisana kodwa ngicela ningayuzi le ndaba as something to leverage in politics. In that also it reminds me of ukuthi in that same year as the country we did experience losses, and any country ekwazi ukulahlekelwa abantu babo, especially people who played a big role in that country, know how it feels like. And in this point, after the break, we get to reflect as South Africa.
Daily Thetha on SABC1. We're looking at the first 90 days of 2020. If you are just joining us, you have not missed much of the conversation because now, how have the first 90 days been for you? We now know we are in the midst of a lockdown, but it does not mean we don't have conversations about what is it that has happened already in South Africa, but also what are we hopeful for? Now, some of the things that we've seen is that we've seen the passing of young and old lives in South Africa. Some of these young people could have been the leaders of our country. Let's go and see what happened at Parktown Boys.
A school camp gone horribly awry. Enoch Mpianze drowned in this river in a makeshift raft. This followed a school activity where pupils built their own rafts. The raft capsized and Mpianze was swept away by a strong current. Recent rains compounded the situation. Sources say 5 boys were swept overboard but managed to reach the river bank. Enoch was not one of them. His family is shattered.
We go to the pathological laboratory, the office, where we need to sign some of the forms. After signing, the driver of the school bus will take us straight to Malvern at my place in 155 Frasquin Street, Malvern 2094. I am Mr. Sebastian, so it's where we will be sitting, mooning until the corpse will be given to us for burial.
The death has had a tsunami-like effect. Scores of angry and worried parents arrived at the school to collect their children. This father and former student wants answers.
To me, and I had this instinct that these are children going to look after children, the so-called matrix, because I could see these are children going to, and I had this thing that something would happen, something wrong was going to go wrong, of which it did happen, and I feel sorry for that child who went missing and drowned.
You're demanding answers from the school?
Please, I do, and from the MEC. Parktown Boys has had a negative from last year, a negative publicity. Something needs to change.
Other questions abound. If Mpianze drowned on Wednesday, why were police only informed on Thursday afternoon?
It's very, very difficult to explain what happened. When we spoke to the principal indicated that the incident took place on Wednesday. As I already indicated, that we were only notified yesterday, late yesterday. So we needed to satisfy ourselves whether there are other circumstances that led for the late notification.
A life jacket could have saved Enoch. Again, the question arose, why was no one given one?
I must confess that I'm not aware, and I didn't see, or I was not briefed whether the people that assisted the children and the children themselves had life jackets or were given. You know, when you go to a boat, you are told safety measures first when you go to. So that part of the information was not provided to me.
Lusufi has undertaken to audit all school camps that have water-related activities. The investigation will also probe whether there was a cover-up of the tragic events.
As nawubona ke, as the Gauteng Department of Education was just celebrating Abu Bundle of Joy, kwaqala sekuvela sekukuningi, and we saw, of course, the MEC, which is Ubapanyazale Sophie, also running from left to right, from school to school, as another 15 children had then lost their lives in either accidents and also incidents that happened. Have a look at what we had to go through.
And thanks for staying with Morning Live. On to a very somber subject now. A total of 15 learners in Gauteng have lost their lives in separate incidents ranging from murder, drowning to motor vehicle accidents since the 2020 academic year started just over a month ago. Now, Gauteng MEC for Education has described the spate of deaths as a bad spell and says that it's extremely difficult to face parents of deceased learners on almost a weekly basis. And the MEC joins us now, Panyaza Lesufi, to talk about all of these. Thanks so much for coming through.
Thanks for the opportunity, Sakina. It's indeed a difficult period for us, but we have to soldier on.
And as you say, you know, one almost wants to look for some justification as to why this is happening. You've gone on to say it's a bad spell. You even cut your hair. You know, and this is not trying to trivialize what's going on here, but I suppose it speaks to the desperation to try and find answers.
Well, I went to various churches and also consulted traditional leaders, and some of the people indicated that in African culture also, those that believe in Muslim religion said that when something of this nature happens, we need to also respect our tradition, and one of that tradition is to cut our hair, because as a father figure of these children, they really believe that I should lead by example. I need to appreciate lots and lots of religious leaders that have flooded our department with information, that are willing to pray for us. We have arranged few prayer sessions just to hold the fort and ensure that we don't have this kind of things. It's really difficult, Sakina. You know, when the last incident happened 2 days ago, and the parents came to me and say, what happened? You know, I could see in their eyes, they just wanted me to perform a miracle and say nothing happened. But I had to be brave and tell them that unfortunately their child has passed on. It was part of the children that were in the Kumbi, and we are sorry as a department that you don't expect to do that almost every second day. And we remain hopeful that whatever message this kind of activities were sending to us, we've accepted. We've accepted. We are at the mercy of our Creator, and we are at the mercy of those that believe that this it's a temporary thing, it will pass.
Lathi ke saduduza khona abazali of all the parents who have lost their children kwavele sinye sehlakalo la eMzansi, where we lost the legend Ubab Joseph Shabalala kule nyanga February, as he then wagcina sesishiya.
Joseph, he's told us when he's teaching us, he say, hey guys, if you can sing this music, you can go all around in the world. You can go overseas, you can go anywhere. In fact, we don't trust him. But we like to do what he wants us to do. So when we start, he gives us a right note, and when he start, he's got another song. When he start, he says, Vela, vela, wena, vela, wena. He started very soft. He said, to shout and make a big noise is not work.
Recordings on the SABC station, the then Radio Zulu, were followed by a recording contract with Gallo Records, which saw them achieve gold status for their first album, Amabuto, the first such achievement by a black music group. Subsequent albums received gold or platinum status. Their big international break came when Paul Simon visited South Africa in 1985 and contacted them to collaborate on his Graceland album.
Somebody cry, why?
They recorded with Simon in London and after that performed with him in New York. The Graceland album, which included the famous song Homeless, which Shabalala co-composed, was released a year later. It sold 16 million copies, which boosted their international image.
Homeless, moonlight sleeping on a midnight lake. Homeless.
The success of the Graceland recording and subsequent concert tours led to a strong touring life for the group that continues today.
My father used to say we must keep it tradition, just make sure that whatever we do, we keep it more to our roots. So keeping it like that makes it interesting for the people because they hear the traditional music of South Africa.
re sa le busy re lela ntate Joseph Chabalala ra kwa match gore le ngwana foto mo South Africa o re tlhokafalele one of the fathers of African spirituality, a Zulu Shama, a storyteller and a Sanusi, Credo Mutwa le ene abarishia ka mengwaga ya 98 years old, and really he was one of the gentlemen in this country who were able to tell us what the future is, and most of our government departments were consulting with him. Let's go and see his story.
We were the people who brought Christianity into South Africa. We were the people who allowed Islam to practice in Africa. Today, you spit at us and you call us savages.
Credo Vusamazulu Mutwa, as he was fondly known, was born in KwaZulu-Natal, known then as Zululand, in 1921. Mutwa's name Credo means I believe in Latin. His other name, Vusamazulu, which came after his initiation as a Sangoma, means awakener of the Zulu people. As a Sangoma, he traveled extensively across the globe. This is what he had to say about his travels.
I have seen things that no man should see, and one of these things is the unfairest misjustice.
The Indaba My Children author settled in Soweto, where he built a cultural village sponsored by the apartheid government. The gesture did not go down well with some people of Soweto, which led to his cultural village being torched during the 1976 student uprising. The shaman then fled to Mahikeng and built another cultural village, which also now lies in ruins.
All I do know is that the black man of Africa does not know his greatness, does not understand how important he is to humanity as large. Our entire nation, colored and black, are greater than they think.
The Sanusi has been hailed as an extraordinary man to walk the earth.
He has been an African Renaissance rebel, and that's key. Hopefully his writings, his sculptures, his paintings, his prophecies will teach us something.
As you can see, with all the things as in South Africa in the past 90 days, but also into the late months of 2019, what do you think? After the break,
re go amogele gape mo go SABC 1 yona ke Daily Thetha show ya baswa. We're always keen to get your voice notes, so please do send some more. But we do have a couple where we can hear gore na lona le nagana eng. Let's give a listen.
Well, this year have been nothing close to what I have imagined. With this whole global pandemic, you know, like it changed everything, you know. And as a student and a part-time employee, I am very worried about my studies being delayed, you know, end up graduating maybe later on than the time I'm supposed to graduate on. And with the employee part, I'm worried I might maybe lose my job because of recession. And like I said, I am part-time in the company. So yeah, but the positive me thinks, you know, something good might come after this, you know, after this whole thing, you know. There is hope. Let's just keep praying. We'll be just fine. We'll survive this.
Yeah, 2020 has been nothing short but of a disaster. We have COVID-19, the country's on a lockdown. We are currently facing a situation where the academic year might be lost if matters do not improve in South Africa with the amount of people getting infected on daily. If this keeps on escalating, then the academic year will be lost, which directly impacts my rate of success in the future, my chances of success in the future. I might not even be able to get hired. Who knows? I might not even be able to finish the academic year. I have a whole year that will be lost because I'll have to spend the following year, if matters do improve, I would have to spend the following year trying to catch up, and I will have to do work that I should have done this year. That means I am a whole year behind with my life, and that is a place where I never imagined I would be. A lot of people never imagined that they will have a whole year taken away. So 2020, with the load shedding, with the academic year, with the start of the academic year, with the children who are dying, which I feel like government has not really addressed it that much and have not tended to the schools to see that schools are of safety, right? As to what they practice even with their initiations. This should be something that should be brought upon in all schools, whether it's private or government. I mean, this cannot be happening in our country. As for load shedding, we've been experiencing load shedding for quite some time now. Government has said they've been doing something about it, but really, the more you look into it, you just see that government is not really trying that hard. If they were trying and they really wanted to get this issue fixed, we should have ended with load shedding back in 2016, right? I need to say again that all of these things do impact my chances of success very highly, because these burden the economy, and if the economy is weak, then the chances of I or anyone else who is in my situation with what is happening right now, which is most of the matriculants in the country right now, and those who have matriculated cannot afford, some of them cannot afford to go to varsity because of these tuition fees. And I just have to say that this is a problem, and this should be attended to by government as quickly as possible, because the chances of success for a lot of people have just decreased.
You know, Melody, just listening to that last voicemail, I'm thinking about those 30 matriculants who were told that they had actually passed matric, kanti abapasa. Already that throws you off. 2020, there's just so much happening, but also thinking about the kids that are currently sitting at home now in lockdown. My worry is the inequality in education that's happening, because go to private school, panalidi laptop, they can do online work, and then barona go gae badlala Chicago.
And yazi ukhumbule futhi is the difference in quality. Abayakwazi ukuthi bathathe i-curriculum bayehlise in private. In public siyahluleka because iningi ingane emele zisizwe. But also akakhali yedwa umfoko voice notes. Nangu Mike Nkomo uthi ke 2020 had promised to be a great year. I had so many plans and expectations for 2020. I get it's officially cancelled. We'll try again next year. How ndoda yehlisa umoya unyaka usaqala nje sakafiki nje naku April so uyakhala lalela ke so sifuna ukuzwa ukuthi wena usathini. Have a listen to what others have to say.
I honestly don't think they affect my chances of success. I mean, look, SA on its own, it's survival of the fittest. Every man for himself. I don't think there's any young person out there waiting for the government to give them a job. With the high unemployment rate, with the ESCOM issues, with the SAA issues, honestly, I don't think there's any young person out there waiting for the government to do something for them.
And regarding the economy, since so many people are saying that businesses will be affected, that small businesses, I think on their side, they should also take this time to plan well. If they plan well and now they've got to come up with weapons and strategies as to how they are going to overcome this, everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. It's all in the mind.
Now is the sum, everything will be fine. And of course, not everywhere begumnyama, but corner la bekanya corner. Because after the break, we come back, we also look at the changes in the entertainment industry. Ungakhohlwa when you come back. And we are the champions,
my friends, and I. Siya Kolisi and the boys lifted that Rugby World Cup. Let's go and see and remember and relive that moment.
Yep.
Siya Kolisi and South Africa are Rugby World Cup kings in Japan.
If it was not just winning the Rugby World Cup, in the world of international waters when it went to the award ceremony that was gotten by Umabato Manto, who was someone who led her team, not just her alone, in the world of film, where we saw Ukariso Modupe also winning 6 awards internationally.
Again, sesizozibini are Miss South Africa.
Come on.
Ka natural hair. Afetse. Are you on an international stage and wins Miss Universe? Come on now.
The second runner-up for Miss Universe 2019 is Mexico. Congratulations, Mexico. Now we are down to South Africa and Puerto Rico. Only one of you can be crowned our new Miss Universe. If for any reason the winner is unable to fulfill her duties, the first runner-up will take her place. Good luck to you both. The new Miss Universe is South Africa.
Stop Uningkuthi kwakumnandi inhliziyo ihleli la ngiyakutshela kwakuthi ngikhale. Nkosi yami. What a way, what a moment. I just got goosebumps ngendlela ukuthi that moment was beautiful because you know what? We were born to win. We'll have our challenges. Kodwa asivuke sisithathe Mzansi.
Pure magic, Melody. Pure magic. Amazing things. When she stood there and they were just like, listen, this is South Africa. That was for me. It was just like, listen, I singeni, sipenekanti. We're now part of the world. Ritseni, on says N. Okay?
Sithi sesivala, sithi simkhumbuze. Do not look at just where you are. Bheka la uyakhona. Noma ngathi kumnyama uboni kahle ngicela ukuthi ufake umoya. Bathi ungaphela umoya, faka umoya sana.
Don't worry, guys. COVID-19, we're going to make it. South Africa is going to be great. We are only in the first couple of months of 2020. It is still going to be 2020. We're still going to achieve our dreams. We're still going to get those cars, those houses, those degrees. Graduation is still going to happen. Just because it's been postponed now doesn't mean anything.
But the plans that are delayed are not denied. The question is, are you ready for the arrival?
Are you ready? Because remember, opportunity finds you dancing on the dance floor. Wajaiva na, melody jaiva. Because South Africa...
Thank you so much for being with us. And we look forward to coming again, to educating you, to bringing life to you. Nakona, we are ready to hear your voice as Daily Thetha.
Definitely, Daily Thetha is giving the youth voice a platform, and you must join us every single Monday to Thursday, 10:30 to 11:30, only on SABC 1.